Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody out there in Radioland. It's a long, long way to paradise, but not for the Habs. My name is Paul K. Lemire. This is Habsolutely coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, in the studios of 4680Q Radio. And here we are again. Go Habs, go! And it's kind of like the doldrums of hockey right now. We come in here to do the show, but my partner, Jean-Louis Filion, he's not here today. He couldn't come in today, so I'm soloing here on the show. But regardless, the show must go on, and there's just not a lot happening out there. We're in that kind of doldrum between the Prospects Challenge and training camp and the end of a lot of excitement. Everybody's getting their gear together. They're getting ready. They're hitting the ice and they're playing together and practicing together and at least getting on the ice, which is good to see. A lot of camaraderie going on in Habs land, which is always nice to see. We want to see that. John always talks about culture and how these guys are melding together. They're together, and that says more than talent. When you can play together as a team, be responsible to each other, and make sure that everything you do moves the team forward, not backward. And even the guys who are on the fringe are buying into this and are doing what they have to do to get this team where they want to be. And it's a long, long way to paradise, but not for the Habs. Not for the Habs. The way it's going, we're going to be looking at getting into the finals in the next couple of years. Now, do you think this is the year? Probably not. Probably not. Although there's some things going on that may give us a little bit of an edge. We'll see what happens between now and, September 1st is a big day. And then, of course, training camp opening and preseason games. But there are things going on, and they're interesting things. We'll talk about them a little bit later in the show. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate the comments and appreciate the views. And we know that maybe only about 50% or so of the people who do view the video for any length of time subscribe. So at this point, I'm asking you, help us out. Subscribe to the channel. It costs you nothing. You'll get notifications when I drop a video every Wednesday, and it goes on YouTube, Rumble X, and on Truth Social. So it'll be all on all those platforms, and you get a notification. Like I say, subscribe. It helps the algorithm, helps the show get out there to more Habs fans. The more, the merrier. This is a party, and it's always a good time here. We take the Habs serious, but we also have fun while we're doing the show. So let's get into some of the fun stuff and the good stuff. First of all, we want to go through the viewer comments. At Vinny Houdon, who he's always commenting. Vinny, great guy. We kid him a lot, but we love Vinny to death, as we do all of our posters. And this week was Vinny with Drew Deeks, Vince Houdon, Gary Cournoy, with the three guys who posted. Always good. They know their hockey, and they give us some good information and opinions. Vinny Houdon. Hey guys, you've heard the news. Demidov and his girlfriend bought a dog and named it Celine. Well, I'm not so crazy about that name, Celine. No, I mean, she did come out and give him his jersey. I guess that's why. It was a respect thing, but hey, could have named it something better than that. Could have named the dog Habsolutely. Yeah, how about that? I think that would have been a great name. They called him Loot for short, Habsolutely. So that's cool. Vinny loved it. That's cool, Vinny. He's here for good, mon ami. When you're starting to bring your girlfriend here and you're buying dogs, you're hanging around for a little while, and we're glad to have them. This year, Calder Trophy winner. I'm making a prediction right now. Calder Trophy winner. He's going to win it, and he's going to pop a few goals in for the Habs this year. And our good buddy Drew Dix, who was almost able to come in today. He was going to come into the studio since John couldn't be here, but he got called out to other business. He couldn't make it. I'm sure he may be tuning in at noon here. And hello, Drew Deeks. Your comment. Expect the unexpected, fellas. A2, expect the unexpected. Got our tickets to the Prospects Challenge again. Drew Deeks, big Habs fan, always goes. He'll be there, he says. Fun note, Kevin He, the captain of the Niagara Ice Dogs, will likely be playing with the Jets Prospects on September 13th versus the Habs Prospects. Well, that's interesting. Says it's going to be fun, and I agree. It's going to be a riot there, Drew. And that's an interesting note that Kevin, I think his name's pronounced He. It's spelled H-E. Could be Hay. Kevin Hay. Kevin He. Hody Hay. Hady. Hoo. Captain of the Ice Dogs, though, our local Niagara Ice Dogs hockey team, be playing with the Jets Prospects on September the 13th. So that's cool. That's cool. And that's where we went when Owen Beck came to town, and we did our interview with Owen Beck. You can catch that on YouTube if you like. That was 3 years ago now, I believe, and interesting what Owen Beck had to say about coming to the Habs and what we had to say to him. And we actually gave Owen Beck a letter from the Professional Hockey Players Association president or CEO at that time, Larry Landon, who welcomed him to the AHL, of course, at that point, to Laval. And, of course, the PHPLA, Professional Hockey League Players Association, Professional Hockey Players Association, or PHPA maybe. He actually gave him a letter welcoming him to the AHL, and they run the union there, the benefits and everything else for the players. So pretty cool stuff with Owen Beck. You can see that interview on YouTube if you like. Just look it up. Absolutely, Owen Beck. And good going, Drew Deeks. You're going. It's going to be fun. You're going to have a good time, and I know you're going to get some interviews with the players that you always do. Some of them you even know you've met them before, and I know you're going to go over it, especially to Slavkovsky. Pat him on the back. Tell him Habsolutely loves them, and so do you. After questioning that, Drew Deeks is the best. At Vinny Houdon. I guess my age, 180 years old, might be wrong since I got stumped on this week's trivia. Somebody my age should know that. Bien oui. Now, Vinny. Yeah, Vinny. Vinny always gets our trivia. He always gets it. And so I said, for a guy to get it, he's got to be 180 years old to know all the stuff Vinny knows about the Montreal Canadiens and the team, right? So Vinny made a comment about that, and we love you, Vinny. Don't worry, we're just busting your chops a little bit there. But I tell you, to have that much wisdom about the Habs, Vinny's pretty good. Now, you got to be old like us. And, I thought he would get this one for sure. It was back in the 2020 or 1924 or something. We asked a question about that. I can't remember it offhand, but he didn't. He was stumped. At Gary Cournoyer, Laine is a rock star. He moves the needle of excitement. He is the Habs top sniper. He looks like he is on a mission to take the Habs to the playoffs. Habs are going to make the playoffs this year for sure. Great comment, though, Gary. I mean, we don't want to wait to the last day to make it like last year. So Demidov is going to make sure we don't. And like I say, he's going to win the Calder Trophy this year. So he's going to put a few pucks in the net to do that. Demidov needs players to match his skills. I agree 100%, Gary. There's no doubt about that. And I think Laine needs the same. Because when you look at Laine's performance, when he was playing with good guys on the power play, guys who could get him the puck when they needed to get him the puck and find some open ice for themselves, compared to when he was 5-on-5 with his line. I mean, okay, so the power play, you got an extra man and blah, blah, blah. But even at that, with his scoring ability, he should be able to put more than 4 pucks in the net, 5-on-5. Come on, let's face it. That's all he got. He got 20 goals, 16 on the power play. So, I mean, he's even on 5-on-5 with his skill, but you still have to have players to play with. And I don't think Newhook and whoever substituted at center were good enough to work with Laine. And that's why I say he had such a hard time 5-on-5. This year with Demidov on his line, and we're going to talk about something else later on that has to do with this, and maybe center, Bolduc, or one of the guys we picked up. It may look a lot different for Laine this year, and he may be up in the 30, 40 goal mark. He has the talent. We know it. It's not a question of if he has the talent or not. Now this year he seems motivated more than ever. He got married, and his wife's whispering to him every night. I know because I talked to her. 5-on-5. 5-on-5. You gotta score 5-on-5. So I think he's going to have a better year. Now, Gary Cornwoye, he continues. Demonov needs players to match his skills. Yeah, like Laine. Who better than Laine? And I agree. Those two together are going to be something because at the end of the day, we already talked about this. They've been hanging out together. They've been on the ice together. They've been doing the skating and passing and that together. They've become pretty good friends, and that's a good thing. We like to see that. So everything Gary said was good points, Gary. I love it. Talent is there. Now we just need a center on that line. At Gary Cornwoye, he had another comment here. After a hard day's work, I need to be entertained, and you guys fit the bill. Well, thank you so much, Gary. We try. And he says, thanks for your podcast. You're welcome. Getting back to Newhook being the second center, I don't see it happening. He doesn't have the hockey IQ to play with Demidov and Laine. I like the guy, but for me, he is a winger on the third line. Great video. Go, Habs, go. And, yeah, all good points, Gary. We'll see how it all plays out. I would rather move Evans up. If Doc can't make the grade this year, and this is an ongoing talking point with Doc. Management assures us he's going to be ready to go for the first game this year. But other people who have been watching him haven't seen him that much. He was there once hanging around. He hasn't been out with the guys, and they're saying that he's still not 100% after taking a year off, basically. So if he's not ready to go, we're going to need that second line center. And I don't know. I wonder if Evans should have a shot at it. I mean, the guy can skate. We know that. He can score. We know that. He can set up plays. We know that. So why couldn't we move him up if we don't have anybody else? Of course, if Hughes doesn't make a move before September 1st. How about that? Anybody have any comments on that? What do you think out there? What do you think, Gary? How about Evans coming up? I mean, we know he's a good center. They trust him out there with a lot of stuff. Dvorak's gone, so we can't move him. And I don't think Dvorak could play with these guys anyway, but Evans might be a guy that can do it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Am I just crazy or what? Or is that a possibility? Let me know. Let me know. And so those are your comments. Thank you so much to everybody for commenting. And thank you for your comments, your compliments there, Gary. We sit here, we do our best and have a good time doing it. John and I are old friends. We've hung around since high school, watching the Habs. We've known each other a long, long time. So when we get on here and banter back and forth, yeah, it's because we know each other so well. It's because we know each other so well. Okay, Habs trivia. Let's get to Habs trivia, something we can't forget. But this is going to be short and to the point this week. This is an easy one. My buddy Vinny will probably get it. Gary will probably get it. Drew Diggs probably will get it even. Drew's a modern guy. He's like a modern Habs fan. He's more with the modern era. I think he was born in '86, so he wouldn't even have seen him win the '86 Cup. So he's more of a modern era Habs guy, and we're from the old days. We remember all the old days, of course. Because why? Because we were there. Of course, we were there. Yeah. Okay, so short and to the point this week. What 19-year-old had 21 goals for the 1985-86 Habs? Short and to the point. Who was it? What 19-year-old had 21 goals for the 1985-86 Habs? That was the year we won the Stanley Cup. So what player was it? I'm going to give you four choices. Sergio Momesso, Shell Darlene. You remember these guys? I do. Peter Svoboda or Stefan Richer. Which 19-year-old had 21 goals for the 1985-86 Habs? I'll give them you again. Number 1, Sergio Momesso. Number 2, Shell Darlene. Number 3, Peter Svoboda. Or number 4, Stefan Richer. What do you think, Vinny? You got it this time? You probably have it this time. Yeah, I know. Correct answer coming up after I have a drink of water. Think about it. What do you think out there? Come on. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Salute. Okay, the correct answer is number 4, Stefan Richer, who also added 16 assists for 37 points in the 56 games he played that year, which was also his rookie year. And he won the Calder Cup for that effort. So, yeah, he had 19 goals. He had 21 goals, 16 assists, 37 points in the 56 games, and won the Calder Cup for that effort. Of course, the Habs went on to win the Stanley Cup that year because there was another rookie guy, a young goaltender named Patrick Waugh, that filled up the nets. I don't think he was a rookie that year, though. Richer had 4 goals and 1 assist in that effort in the playoffs. So Richer was 6'2", 218, imposing forward with talent galore. Habs picked him up 29th overall in the 1984 draft. He was a prolific goal scorer. He had seasons of 50 and 51 goals. The first 50-goal season in 1987-88 and 51 goals in 1989 and 90. Joining the one and only Guy Lafleur as the only Canadiens player to score 50 goals in a season more than once in his career with Montreal. Lafleur did it 6 times, by the way. So that is pretty cool. Stefan Richer, I remember this guy like yesterday. This guy could fly, he could skate, he could score. He was a really good hockey player. And he was known for having one of the hardest shots in the NHL, coupled with a quick release. He was a goaltender's nightmare. Legend has it that while playing for the New Jersey Devils, the Habs traded Richer to the Devils along with Tom Chorske in exchange for Kirk Muller and Rolly Melanson. Remember that? Rolly the goalie in 1991. That with his shot, it was so hard, he broke Martin Brodeur's cup in a warm-up session, leaving Brodeur bruised and nauseated. He had to go to the dressing room and change equipment before the game even started. That was a hard shot. When you break a cup with your shot, that's a hard shot. And if you don't know what a cup is, well, you don't know. You haven't watched hockey. You know that's so you don't get a ding dong, which even with one on, Brodeur got. That's how fast and hard that shot is. Richer was fast and talented. Despite his size, he wasn't your typical hard-hitting power forward. The guy was 6'2" and 225 pounds, I think, when he reached his full playing weight. Big boy. But he wasn't your typical hard-hitting power forward. He used skill and finesse to play the game and achieve fantastic results. Stefan Richer did. Great player. I love watching him. He was the youngest Montreal Canadiens player to score 50 goals in a season at 21 years old. He was the youngest Habs player to score 100 goals in a season, in 2 seasons, 22. He had 50 and 51 goals. So that's 101 goals in 2 seasons. One of only 2 Habs players to have more than one 50-goal season and won the Stanley Cup twice. In 1986 with the Habs and 1995 with the Devils. He also won a cup with the Devils. He ended his NHL career playing 1,054 games with 421 goals, 398 assists, 819 points in those 1,054 games, with a Calder Cup and 2 Stanley Cups under his belt. And he also won the Calder Cup as a championship when he was in the AHL with Sherbrooke Canadiens, I believe, in a Calder Trophy for the Rookie of the Year. He played for the Habs, Devils, Lightning, Blues, and Penguins before ending his career after the 2001-2002 season. He now lives in Naples, Florida with his wife, Lisa, has a golf course and some businesses back home in Quebec. He's doing okay, and he was okay in my books playing for the Habs. When he was traded, though, he picked up a not too shabby player for him in the form of Kirk Muller. Yeah, I mean, what the heck was wrong with that? Who went on to win a Stanley Cup with the Habs in '93. So there you go. That's who it was. 19-year-old, had 21 goals for the 1985-86 Habs. That's the correct answer. If I have anything wrong, correct me, everybody. Did you get the trivia question right? We'll see in the comments. Leave your comments. Let us know how you made out. So looking over the past week with the Habs, and I think Drew Deeks might have sent me a message, but unfortunately, I use my phone to film this, so I can't get messages. So if you left the message, Drew Deeks, yeah, I'm sorry, I can't get it. I'll get it after the broadcast is over, but it'll be too late to talk about it on air. So sorry about that. Okay, so on with the Habs. And the show's brought to you by Your City, Your Voice. Hey, I had to get a plug in for my other show. In case you didn't know, I do a show every day of the week at noon, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's called Your City, Your Voice, where I talk about local politics and world politics and events. So if you're not doing anything, tune into that. Same time, noon, 4680Q. Hey, I'll give myself a plug while I'm here, right? What the heck? Your City, Your Voice, featuring me, Paul Calabir. Okay, to be honest, not a lot has been going on in the NHL. I said that at the beginning. The rumor mill is still churning, and I've seen everyone. I mean, I think I've heard of everyone coming to the Habs, even the Pope. Yep, the new Pope's coming to the Habs, and he's going to play for the Habs. They're making a trade now, Hughes. Well, I don't think the Pope's coming. He's a little old to play in the NHL. But if you go by all the pundits and rumors, it'll drive you crazy. But there was one show I was watching, and apologies because I can't remember which one it was, that mentioned something that gave me food for thought. It could have been Sean Starr and Marco D'Amico. Could have been that show. I'm not sure what it's called, but they're really, really good. Could have been that one. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Now, I said a few shows ago that Demidov's ultimate performance will be based on who he plays with, and Gary Cornoy agrees with me there. And I said the same about Laine's 5-on-5 play last year. Without a qualified center on that second line, both Laine and Demidov's performance could be less than they should be. And I don't think that Newhook is going to work with them. Like somebody said, he doesn't have the hockey IQ to play with these big stars. And I maintain that perhaps Laine's 5-on-5 performance stats were low because he just didn't have the talent to play with. Now he's got Demidov and Doc and Newhook. Well, Doc was out, Newhook just isn't good enough. So my point about all this is, and this is an idea from someone else, but I agree with it, would Demidov be better with Suzuki and Slafkovsky? Would Demidov be better on the first line with Suzuki and Slafkovsky, sending Caulfield to play with Laine and adding a center to that line? Now, somebody mentioned this, and the more I think about it, the more I'm going like, wow. Suzuki, Caulfield, Slafkovsky, good. Suzuki, Demidov, Slafkovsky. Could it be better? And then you balance out the second line, Caulfield, Laine, and throw a center on that line a playmaking center that could add to the line. set these guys up. Now he's got 2 guys to set up. Interesting. Now, that whole move would probably be contingent on Montreal picking up a center that could actually do the job, because that's always the trouble, right? You need a guy to play between Caulfield and Laine. And at the end of the day, could Demidov outperform Caulfield on that first line and enhance Slav's play? I don't know. What do you think out there? Does that sound something good, or would it be just screwing up a really good line now? I mean, Suzuki's going to play with anybody. He's good either way. He's going to play good either way. So it's not about that. What it ends up being about is, would Demidov be better off playing with Slafkovsky and Suzuki? I think it would help Slafkovsky, and I think it would help Suzuki. And of course, Demidov's going to do his thing. Interesting. What do you guys think out there? Possible? Crazy? Not doing it? Maybe? Either way, let me know. Let me know in the comments. And I know, nobody wants to break up that first line. Let's face it. Nobody wants to break up the first line. But if we want to get the most out of Demidov, he needs to play people to play with. He's got to play with good players, and Laine is the same. He needs a prolific power play specialist. Yeah, he is. Laine is a prolific power play specialist. We put out there with our best players, but floundered 5-on-5 with nobody up to his talent. So Caulfield could be there, and then a good center. If we cannot find a center, why couldn't we use Evans? Like I said, he's fast, talented, can score, as well as set up plays. Why not? Is it worth a try? What do you think? Am I way off base here or what? You guys have to tell me, because at the end of the day, I go by the rule A2. Expect the unexpected. A2, we don't know what's going to happen. Over to Doc. Nobody can get their story straight, like I said. Management says he's going to be ready to go. They're expecting big things from him this year, and I'm going to tell you, I think if he doesn't perform this year, it's going to be over for him. I think this is his last call as a Hab if he doesn't perform. I mean, 3 years and we haven't seen nothing. He's barely been on the ice. We're not going to be able to keep him. That's all there is to it. So is it a go or not? Is it a go or not? That's the question. I mean, training camp is going to tell the tale on a lot of this stuff. And that's not far off. We're only a couple weeks in August and, 2 weeks in another month away. I think I saw about 30, 40 days, something like that. Anyway, doesn't matter. We'll see what happens. But Doc is a big question mark. If he comes back on that second line, you might not see things change other than him being in there with Laine and Demidov. And Demidov and Laine have been mixing it up and have some chemistry together. So I think MSL will definitely work that out before he'll do anything crazy, like sending Caulfield down and sending Demidov to the first line. We'll see what happens. Now, another interesting rumor about Carey Price in Carey Price's contract, and trading it away to get Habs under the salary cap. They're a little bit over now. His $10.5 million will get him down under the cap before the season starts, so they can make a move. Habs are looking for a team that won't make the cap floor, which I think is 71 or 72 million. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty close. And they might need a big contract to get there, and Price's $10.5 million cap hit would get him there at a nice discount to the team that takes over his contract. Thank you very much. That's right. If the team were to take Price by September 1st, they would only be responsible for about $2 million of salary, even though they get to use the $10.5 million of cap. So that's pretty good. The Habs can make that deal. They can make another move before the season starts, a late summer blockbuster move, if you will. This rumor, it's been floating around for a while, and they're starting to pick up a little bit of steam. And it wouldn't surprise me at all, since using Gorton have more moves than X-Lax. They have a lot of moves. They're always looking. They're always doing something, and this is no different. So that would be pretty cool, and that would give them open cap space to make another move. And I don't know, I just been feeling, I have this feeling that the Habs management are not done yet. I don't think they're done. There's something else that's going to happen before training camp. And I don't know what, but Hughes has done this before. He did it last year with Line. Remember? All of a sudden we had Line. I don't even know where he came from. Who was he traded for? What happened? All of a sudden, we've got Line, like Drew Deke said. We're going to pick up Line. And we said, I don't know about that. I don't even know if I want him. The guy's a head case and everything else, right? So, yeah, we've seen this happen before. We've seen this movie before, and we know the end. So, is it going to happen? I don't know what we're going to do, but we know to A2, expect the unexpected. Maybe Drew Deke has got some insight into it. I've heard so many names now. Now I heard Marco Rossi. He's bummed out and he wants out of his team. And the Habs he's coming to the Habs, another short Smurf type of player, but talented. I don't know. I can't keep up with them all. I mean, I'm still last week. Last week it was what's his name there? What's that other guy's name? Everybody's yelling about they're getting over. I can't even remember. I forget him only because everybody's always talking about him, and I block it out. I quit talking about it. McTavish. Mason McTavish. That's the guy I'm thinking of. That's another one that's always going around. The one thing I've heard a lot of, though, the one guy I have heard a lot of, not so much coming to the Habs immediately, but Michael Hage. This guy is really making his bones in hockey, and the Habs are hot on him, making a huge difference on the team once he arrives. And I don't know, I got a sneaking suspicion that we're not going to have to wait 3 or 4 years for this guy. I think he's going to be here a little bit sooner than that. And I wouldn't even be surprised if he makes his presence felt in the 2026-27 season. I know he's going to spend 2 more years in college hockey. Then he's going to go to Laval for a year and blah, 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 blah. You know what? This kid is doing it all. He's playing a 200-foot game. The Habs are expecting big things out of him. And I wouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't surprise me at all if he makes it up to the big club before too long. Not next year. This season. He's not going to make it this season. But you might see him up next season. It's the season prematurely or two. It wouldn't surprise me. A2. Expect the unexpected. Another guy that has been getting rave reviews is LJ Mooney. I mean, this kid really has tongues wagging. They're still talking about him. Pure talent, regardless of his diminutive status. And he probably would have went higher if he was a little bit bigger. But this kid, they're saying that his talent and work ethic supersede his size. And we've seen that with Caulfield. We've seen it with Suzuki. These guys aren't the biggest guys on the block. But man, oh man, are they good. They good solid hockey players. So that's another guy who's got tongues wagging, and we're going to have to watch him. We're going to watch him. Now, speaking of Slafkovsky, and we were earlier, a lot of people are saying that this year he's going to have a breakout year. And I can't remember who it was, but it was on definitely the Marinero show there, right? Sick podcast, the Marinero. He had a guest on there. I don't know who it was. I didn't recognize the guy. Who knows? But the guy said that this is going to be a breakout year for him. And Marinero said, well, he had 51 points last year. Wasn't that a breakout year? Isn't that a good enough year for a breakout year? And he goes, no. He goes, this guy is going to be getting 75, 80 points. He goes, this is the year. And he said that a lot of players guys like McKinnon and other players, when they come into the league young, and Slafkovsky came in at 18, it seems to be their fourth year where they really find their place and do it. And this is his fourth year. So interesting pickup by this guy. And he's been watching. And he thinks this is it for Slafkovsky. This year he's going to break through and have a phenomenal year. And I mean, we know he's going to. We know his ceiling is very high. And we know it's going to happen. Will it be this year? Well, we'll wait and see. I'm hoping it is. I'd love to see that. Like I say, I don't want to be waiting last day of the season to get into the playoffs. I want to have a solid seat at the table. Even by time January, February rolls around, we're right in a good position where we're going to make the playoffs because we had a great start to the season. And I think we can do it going through the games I looked at. I think we can win the first 15 out of the first 20. We have a shot at it. So we got to stay tuned for this one. And of course, I'm talking about our players doing at least what they did last year. I'm talking about our goaltending giving us some decent numbers. There's still a lot of ifs with Montreal, no matter what we look at, because we know we got a decent team. We know we have some talent. But goaltending, I'm not sure about that. Defense, I'm positive on. We got a great defense. Our offense is good. We still need that second line center. And the other lines are going to be filled in with qualified players. But I'm still not quite satisfied with our goaltending. I hope Sammy steps up. He's the guy. And Dobish backs him up. He's the guy. If not, we got Kapanen to come up. Kako, or whatever his name is. So we have a shot at having a decent goaltending tandem this year. But Sammy's got to lead the way. He's the guy. But we have Demidov firing like we expect him to for his rookie year. If we have Caulfield, Suzuki, Slafkovsky having his breakout year this year. And then the defense we have standing up to what they did last year. Lane Hudson dodging a sophomore jinx and coming up with a good season. I think we're going to be in pretty good shape. And speaking of Lane Hudson, you hear Serge Savard called him the best player the Habs have had since Guy Lafleur. Wow, that's something. I cannot wait for this season to start. I'm telling you, I'm so excited about this season. And I think probably most people will tell you if you ask them, this is probably one of those most exciting seasons to look forward to for a long, long time for the Habs. And I was looking forward to last season. I said at the beginning of the season, I wanted to see them battling for a wild card spot. They did, and they made it. Now this year, I'm jumping my expectations. I don't see them fighting on the last day for a wild card spot. We're going to be in it. No, we're not going to win it. We're not going to win the Stanley Cup this year. I don't think we're going to win the Stanley Cup. But you know what? I'm going to bet $10 on the fact that we do. Oh, I'm not missing out on a good bet. I'll tell you that right now. I'm taking them. I don't think we'll do it this year. But getting through the first round is fantastic. We went to the first round last year. We didn't make it. Caps were just the better team, and you could see it. But this year is going to be different. And the year after this year is going to be different. If we can get to the second round, we're going to learn organically how to win and how to get through playoff series. So I'm excited. I'm excited this year. And when I look at the schedule, I'm really excited, because our schedule, and I'm going to keep reviewing this as we go along and get some other people's opinion on this, get them to look at our first 20 games. But if you look at our first 20 games, we start off with the Leafs in Leafland. And last year we won that first game, and I wouldn't doubt if we could win it again this year. So I'm giving them a win in that game. You start adding up these wins. Then we play the Wings. I think we could beat the Wings. And we're playing them in Detroit land, but I think we can beat them in Motown. Then we got to go to Chicago. I think we can beat Chicago in the Windy City. There's 3 games. Then we go and play the Kraken at home. During these 20 games, we have 11 home games, 9 on the road. So we come back home. We play the Kraken. We could beat the Kraken. We play the Predators. We can beat the Predators. Play the Rangers. Unless the Rangers come up with something great, we can beat them. Sabres, come on, beat the Sabres. Calgary Flames, we're going to see Calgary. We're going to Calgary. We should be able to beat them. The Oilers, well, that's not going to be that easy. Canucks, I say we can beat the Canucks. We're on the road now. We got 5 games on the road, or 4 games on the road. And then we play the Kraken again. We can beat them. Play the Senators, question mark. They always play us tough, but we're at home. Play the Flyers. We're going to win that. Play the Devils. They're nothing. We're going to play the Devils. We should win that. Then we play Utah, the Memoth. Come on, we can beat the Utah Memoth, can't we? I think so, at home. Play the Kings. Well, that's going to be a tough one. Play the Stars. Dallas, another tough one. Question mark on that one. The Bruins, that's a win. They got nothing this year. Columbus, oh, come on. Come on. We should be able to beat Columbus. Washington, question mark. And Leafs, question mark. I think we can beat the Leafs the first game. The second game might not be so easy. But even at that, I'm tallying this up, and I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 losses. I'm thinking that we're going to have a run in the first 20 games that's going to set us up for the last part, the last games. I really do think they are. Now, we have a run of 7 road games starting on December 21st in Pittsburgh. We start off. We have 16 back-to-back games this year, the most in the league, with 9 of the 16 in December and January. So those months are going to be tough. So we need to bank points in those first 20 games. Now, December and January, 11 out of 15 games are on the road. And right there, I'm calling the Fantastic 15. Since these games are going to really, really decide where we want to go, regardless of our start. So they're going to cement our ticket. If we can come out of there playing even 500 hockey, they're going to cement our ticket to the first round if we perform well in the first part of the schedule, which is, to me, it looks pretty manageable. If we get goaltending, and these guys are starting to fire up from the get-go, they're playing with each other. I think we have a great start to the season. So everybody out there, what do you think? You can argue with me about it. I don't care. I'll see what you think. Go through the first 20 games. Tell me what you think we're going to do. And I'm going to come back to those first 20 games as we see what happens in the training camp. And when we play our exhibition games, we have the prospect challenge with 4 games. And this time it's prospect challenges with Ottawa, Toronto, and the Jets. So we'll see some of their prospects and how they're doing. But, next week what I want to do is I'm going to take a look at our division in our conference and see who we've got to displace and what they've done during the season. See if we can get a handle on that. Exactly who we have to play, what they did in the offseason to make their team better, and where we are in the pecking order. Who do we have to displace to make it? And we're going to look at the standings from last year, the final standings. I don't think a lot of these teams in the Atlantic anyway did a heck of a lot. Yeah, they got some players, some ham and eggers and stuff. But what team did the most and has the most chance at getting there? We'll look at that. We'll take a look at that. But otherwise, you know what? I'm out of here. 45 minutes. We have nothing from John because he's not here. So 45 minutes is enough, right? Agree with me? Don't agree with me. Leave your comments. Let me know. We'll talk about it next week. John should be back next week. We'll see what happens. And you never know. We might even get Drew Deeks in here next week as well. You never know, Drew. He's up and down. He's all over the place. The guy's a hard worker. Anyway, my name is Paul Killamere. This is Absolutely coming to you live from the studios of 4680Q Radio in downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. God bless you all. Go Habs, go. We'll see you next week at noon on Wednesday. Promises made, promises kept. Go Habs, go. Ciao, ciao. Au revoir. See you later, mon ami. Take care, Vinny and Gary and all the other guys who comment. We love you all and thank you for your comments. Ciao, ciao.